Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more gameplay for you, but it's not my own gameplay, it's actually some pro gameplay. We're going to be breaking down Optic Texas versus Atlanta FaZe, taken from Major 3. This is your eliminations final. The winner of this goes straight to the grand finals against Toronto Ultra. You guys have probably seen the series, but this map was one of the most impressive maps all tournament long, so I thought why not break it down. You guys have been asking for it in the comments, so I thought why not deliver. Let's get right into the breakdown. If you guys do enjoy this type of video, make sure to drop a like because it really helps me out and allows me to know what you guys want to see. Let's get right into it. Starting off here, and what I kind of want to notice straight away, what I want to highlight is just Shotzzy. I mean, this guy started off the map differently. Just by this initial play, I can already tell this guy was moving different. He was getting twisted on the map. Look at this, straight away, with 15 seconds down, you can see he's already on the other side of the map. I don't know how this guy does it. There's actually something wrong with him. He just moves. He's so good at moving. Like, the way this guy moves around the map is actually crazy. I've never seen anything like it. But what I want to kind of just talk about here is just this initial kind of setup. So you can see normally Optic have started on the bad side, and what this means is that it's quite difficult for them to get to the hill. There's a lot of kind of headies and power positions that FaZe can play, but just by Shotzzy pushing through and flanking, straight away, look at the minimap, you can see that number 6 and number 5 are looking for him. And what this means is technically 2 players from FaZe are out of their setup. They're not watching the power positions and they're not kind of gatekeeping Optic. So just from literally Shotzzy pushing out like this, although he's 0 and 0, he's probably making the most impact on the map right now. He's distracting 2 FaZe enemies, and look what he does here. He plays a nice little creddy corner, a BZ comes through and he gets that initial kill. So now this is what I'm talking about. What FaZe ideally want in this setup in the first 30 seconds is they want all 30 seconds of the point. They should be kind of set up here. They have a player on hill, a player top boat, they have a player open, and maybe another player single window. But instead what's happened is Shotzzy's behind them, so he's essentially going to be spawning FaZe out, and now they've also got a trap and they're not on the hill. So with 35 seconds down, they've only managed to get 16 seconds. This is not good, and this is all down to Shotzzy just playing a really good flank. Going through here now, he's just trying to kind of see what he can spot here, just trying to be a real nuisance. He goes down, he absolutely fries Simp, and just like that, the spawns are flipped. A really good opening P1 from Optic Texas. With 45 seconds down, they're only down by 10 points and they've got spawns for P2. Really good job, and in my opinion, Shotzzy was a playmaker for that whole thing. On the other side here, we have number 4. He won an absolute huge gunfight onto a BZ. Now let's see on the verge of things and on the other side how Optic Texas are going to be holding P2. So with 10 seconds left, let's take a quick look at their initial setup. So right here, you have number 4. He's picked up an AR, which is a really good gun to have here. He's basically playing open. So what he's going to be doing is looking, if you can see on the bottom left here with my arrow, is you can see he's going to try to basically watch this left area and just try to watch a bit of maps. Just have a bit of map control. And then Simp is there as well. Simp just gets taken out. Shotzy's go absolutely rogue, and they're basically gatekeeping the whole of FaZe on this right side of the map. And if you guys play Control or you watch Control, you know how deadly the Fortress Control trap is, and that's exactly what they've put FaZe in on this hardpoint. And you can see what I mean in my videos when I tell you, when you're playing that aggressive SMG role, to make sure you push out as much as possible. This is what I'm talking about. So right here, let's just take it at face value. Right here, Shotzy's versing 2 players. If Shotzzy dies right here, most likely 99% of the time he's going to spawn back here with number 4, and what that means is he could probably get back to closed or back to the hill before the team of FaZe even get there. So what that means is he's essentially got 2 lives here. He's got 1 life to challenge, and then he's got 1 life to fight them FaZe on the hill. Where I feel like a lot of people, when they're playing that aggressive role, they don't actually play aggressive enough. They play quite passive. So right here, if you're number 2, I know a lot of people, by watching or playing in the lower levels, would maybe be sitting back here with number 4. But what that does is that just allows so much more pressure onto the hill. If you look here, if you're playing here, first of all, you get intel for your team. So right here, Shotzzy can straight away come to his teammates that 2 players are playing this right side of the map. So what that does is it just allows number 3 to set up for potentially 2 enemies to push through. And this kind of just really helps the team set up and just adds an extra layer to defense. And every kill that Shotzzy gets here is literally going to just delay FaZe's push even more. So right now, a BZ gets taken out. What that means is a BZ is going to spawn at the back, and it's just going to add another 5-10 seconds to their push. For me, Shotzzy was everything in this early game, going absolutely huge. I mean, this kill here, that was just the icing on the cake. The fact that you can get a 2-piece right there just is really going to open up the hill and start to get the lead underway. Right, just like that, number 4's on the hill, Shotzzy gets taken out. But let's take a look at their setup now. You have number 1, Ghosty. He's just going to be watching the right-hand lane. Number 2, Shotzzy's going to be playing through the middle. And just like that, FaZe do manage to get the break off, but Dashy goes huge. He gets 1. And now this is such a hard fight for Selim to go through. He goes in, but Shotzzy comes back around and makes sure he gets the kill. So Optic are playing a very, very clean P2 here. I really like the way they're playing the P2. I feel like they're getting their trades off very successfully, and just like that, they managed to get the last 20 seconds. Now, what I want to talk about is FaZe's initial setup, because I really like FaZe's setup here. Again, they got fried this map, but the beginning was quite competitive. So let's take a look at FaZe's setup. What I noticed straight away is what I've been preaching about, is that you have to push out and make sure you take... Okay, so the way I want to describe this is that right here, FaZe, in my opinion, this is probably the best case scenario for them and the best setup. And it all starts with number 5 with Slasher. The furthest you can have someone is... I'm trying to explain this properly with it making sense. So right here, what you want to do is you want to have one of your players pushed out as furthest as possible without losing spawns. And in my opinion, that's where number 5 is. If he pushes out any further, things may get weird and spawns might start to be less manipulative. But right here, you can see number 5 is pushed out, and what this is going to do is, first of all, give so much intel to his team. He's telling his team, right, nobody is on this left side of the map. So straight away, especially a team with like FaZe, they know exactly where the spawns are going to be. They just know everything about the game. If Slasher's telling them no one's coming through the left, they're initially going to straight away assume that people are coming from the right, and they can just kind of alter their setup. So what happens is Slasher waits here, he sees Dashy, he gets 1 kill on Ghosty, and now this is where I think, I won't say the game is won or lost, but this can really, really change the impact of a game, this small decision here. So as Slasher goes through, he gets Huke, and now right here, in an ideal situation, if you're a FaZe fan, this is a perfect case scenario. He's got 2 kills, he's pushed out, this is perfect. They've essentially got Optic in a trap, and they should start to come back with a league here. But what happens here is just Slasher over challenge. You can see he went right, Dashy takes him out, and now for me, that was a huge kill. That should never happen, especially at this level. Slasher knew he was weak. I feel like he just got slightly over challenged there, which happens at times, but just like that, Celia manages to get 1, and Celia maybe going for the redemption here. He does get 2, and that's absolutely huge. Just what I mentioned before, he manages to get the reinforcements off. But now the main gunfight, and this is in my opinion one of the biggest gunfights of the match so far, Shotzzy versus aBeZy. Now Shotzzy has no right to win this. aBeZy has an AR in this position and he's watching the right lane. He has no right to win this, but Shotzzy manages to get the kill. Now what this does is, this means that FaZe has no time on the hill, because the hill just popped. Shotzzy does manage to take out aBeZy, and now Simp has to get the hill. You can see here Simp gets a hill. I would have liked Shotzzy to maybe play slightly more passive there, just because he knew that somebody was going to react to that. But I feel like what Shotzzy was trying to do is try to dolphin dive to the left and just sit on this side of the hill. So I'm not totally against the play, but I feel like maybe could have gone slightly better. But now FaZe are starting to get a bit of time on this hill. You can see Simp going to the hill and Optic trying to break it. Celium with the team lane. That's not ideal. That's not what you want to see in this situation. But Optic doing just a really good job of breaking the hill. You can see that 2 players come from there. Number 4 coming on the pinch. Huke does come. But FaZe do a really good job of holding pressure and managing to get the kills there. So really good play back and forward right now. Very, very contest heavy hill. And Simp goes absolutely huge here with a 3-piece. And I feel like they just managed to lock down remaining of that time. So I'm going to skip to the next hardpoint now and show you the new setup. So for this old hardpoint, FaZe just managed to get majority of the time, and we're into the next hardpoint now. So once again, it looks like Optic is trying to set up that initial kind of spawn trap. That's what you want to be doing on this map, especially on this hardpoint. This hardpoint can be very, very big kill for your team if you can set this up correctly. Okay, I actually remember this is something I really wanted to highlight. Look at aBeZy and Simp. This is something we've seen since they started teaming together back in Black Ops 4. The way they play together is actually unbelievable. I don't think I've seen a duo play as kind of connected as these two. So what you're going to see here is how they approach the situation. The first point I want to make is how well they use their equipment. So you can see Simp chucked a stun in, and just like that, they've got their stun off. So now, there's a couple of different ways you want to play this. If you're Huke, there's a chance you still get the kill here because you're pre-aiming the door. With the time to kill in this game, there's definitely a higher chance you get the kill. So what they do is, let's see how FaZe approach this. So Simp wide chows there. So what Simp does is, Simp's main objective there was from the door is to jump all the way through and literally essentially land on the stairs. What this does is it drags Huke's aim to the left. And now, while his aim is to the left, aBeZy literally comes around the door and absolutely fries him. And just like that, they manage to take him out. And you're going to see time and time again, this is what FaZe do. It's just such a good way of breaking hills. And I really like the way they play. aBeZy and Simp, the way they kind of break hills together is actually unbelievable. But now, Optic Texas is set up. This is where the pressure gets to them. This is where things have to start escalating. If you're Optic Texas, you have to hold this lead. Otherwise, FaZe can get back into the game. Ghosty, just kind of watching the middle here. He manages to get 1. This is a really good spot. I actually didn't know about this spot until I saw Ghosty use it. Really impressive stuff. He gets one, but this is where I think FaZe just needs to apply a bit more pressure. You can see here, they're on the pinch here, and let's see what happens. So FaZe get the initial 2 kills, so now they're in a 4v2 situation, and I just think they have to pounce into the hill. I don't really like what's happening here. I feel like they're taking way too long to pinch here. Like right now, Ghosty should be dead, and number 4, Hook. Ghosty and Hook should be dead. This should be 4 down, and Optic should be getting spawn trapped. But instead, Simp comes in, Simp gets fried. And I mean, where are the trades? Like, there's no reason why Ghosty should win that. Right now, there's no reason why Ghosty should get Simp and a BC. That's just really, really bad stuff from FaZe. And you can see, like, Hook is still alive. So after that whole interaction, all that happened is FaZe got 2 kills. Sorry, Optic got 2 kills and FaZe only got 1 in a 4v2 situation. So I really think FaZe really fumbled that one there. Celium does go big with a 2-piece. But I mean, right now, like, FaZe should be taking advantage of that setup. They should be able to get maybe 30, 35 seconds on the hill. But you can see with 20 seconds left that the hill is just not even contested. It's actually going Optic's way slightly, which isn't what you want as a FaZe fan, especially considering they had a 4v2 situation. Optic doing a really good job. It's going quite contest heavy, just a lot of trades going off, 50-50 gunfights happening all over the place, and Optic doing a really good job. Hook 5 and 10, and they're actually frying right now. But this is where things start to escalate. This is where FaZe start to get slightly more complacent, and you can see Optic just really going in, breaking the setups. Shotzi goes up here, and what can they do? Celium's sitting in the corner, Abeezy's on the hill. I actually like this setup from FaZe. It's quite a difficult one to break. Shotzi went slightly rogue there. Again, it's kind of like one of his play styles. I mean, that's just his play style. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I feel like there's definitely times where you can maybe slow it down. That is one of the examples. Just kind of wait for his team there, because that was quite an impossible gunfight to win. But I think Dan Ghosty goes huge here. So he gets 1 here, and I want to show you this nice little jump shot what he does around the corner. There's something I spoke about in my other video, the 3 broken mechanics. So let's see how Ghosty wins this gunfight. Celium is pre-aiming him, but Ghosty still manages to win. So first of all, he takes out Slasher. Now look what he does. As he comes around the corner, he basically jumped and already shoots. He basically cambered Celium so badly there. He managed to get 3, and just like that, they're into the hill. With 20 seconds left, this is a really good situation to be if you're an Optic Texas player. They managed to get 1. Ghosty just kind of watching bottom maps, and they're once again trying to funnel the team through maps. But Abeezy just doing a really good job of getting out. That guy doesn't like getting spawn trapped, and it shows. He's an absolute beast. He managed to get out. He kills Abeezy, kills Ghosty, but he does get taken out by Dashi. And now into the P1 setup here. Optic have just a slight lead, but nothing too crazy, and this is where the game really starts to escalate. 3 down for Optic Texas here, and let's see what they do. Shotzi goes huge there, manages to get the 4th, and now let's see how they play this trap. So once again, oh no, I've seen this before. I think we know what's going to happen. Same scenario. Simp chucks a stun. What can they do? They go for the pre-fire, so Abeezy jumps round, Simp then jumps through. So now this is literally the other way around. So Simp goes in after Abeezy. Abeezy jumps round and he gets the kill. I mean, I'm going to have to rewind and show you guys that in full motion. These guys, they just know how to break setups. Like right here, Shotzi was through the wall watching the door. Abeezy and Simp both chuck their stuns together and look just like that. Abeezy jumps through and takes out Shotzi. And now they're going for the hill. Hook is on the left hand side. He's just trying to watch maps, but he does get taken out. And this is where I think FaZe really fumbled it once again. Like, there's just a few times this match where I feel like they really could have escalated on the positioning, and they just didn't. So right here, I would have really liked, well, number 5 is Slasher. Although he's an assault rifle player here, I maybe would have really liked him to start rotating around, maybe open or close, and just trying to get that pinch off what we saw Shotzi doing at the beginning of the game, because I feel like that just really helps out the play, allows for the pinch, and they also can start setting up for P2 rotations. But instead, they go through the front, and right there, like, Shotzi should not be winning that on Slasher. There's just such a crucial gunfight, and these small gunfights, although they seem very minuscule in the moment, like, they just can't be happening at this level, and that's what allows Optic to get away with the victory here. So you can see Optic Texas pushed up. Shotzi, he's just doing it all right now, an absolute monster. Oh, not again. Come on, Abeezy, just stop with your stuns. These two, they're annoying me already. Oh my god, they did it again. We're going to have to take a look at that. I've seen this before. I've seen this exact same situation play out before. Abeezy goes through here. What can they do? He chucks a stun once again, and the Tiny Terrors are back. Can they get another kill here? We've been in this situation 3 times, and we've seen exactly what Abeezy and Simp have done all 3 times. Is it going to be successful? Let's see. Of course it is. Abeezy goes he goes first, he gets baited out, and then Simp comes through and gets the kill. These two, they're just so good together. Like, that's why when they're on form, it's almost impossible to kill them. Now right here with P1 almost done, P2 is going in the way of FaZe. You can see they are initially set up, but let's see how Atlanta FaZe get broken quickly. So Dashi with a huge win there onto Celio, and that kill starts to open up the map, and just like that they get complacent and they go absolutely huge. And I feel like once again FaZe just really fumbled it, and now they're in a spawn trap. I mean, I think FaZe literally cost this one themselves. Like, they just gave it to Optic, getting absolutely fried now. Optic Texas listening, but we're going to focus more on the gameplay here. So let's have a look at number 2 on the minimap. So number 2 is Shotzi. Shotzi sitting in hill. Now Ghosty is playing a bit more kind of complacent at the back here, and Dashi's playing with him. I feel like the pressure's, not pressure's getting to them, but map pressure. So the map pressure's kind of closing in. FaZe are taking a lot more of the pressure here, but that's fine because what Optic are doing, because they're assessing the situation, they're playing more pre-aim heavy at the back, and they're kind of allowing FaZe to get to them. So it's not the worst play. I don't mind it. Again, I do prefer when teams are pushed out, but I get you can't always have that. That's just a perfect scenario. That's not always the case. So right here, Ghosty goes huge with a kill. We've managed to get to Simp on the hill, and now Hook has kind of got them in the back. And now this isn't a bad position to be in if you're Optic, because with 30 seconds left, what you're fighting for is you're fighting for this initial time here. And with maybe the next 10-15 seconds going your way, you then have spawns for P3. That's an absolute perfect scenario to be in. So this is actually quite good. They're actually getting FaZe into a trap here with 30 seconds left. If you're FaZe, you really want to just break into the hill right now, get that initial time, and then send 2-3 people on the rotation. But Shotzi goes through. He gets one on the flank. Hook gets the other guy. And now just like that, Slasher once again pushing through, getting killed by Hook. And now just like that is literally a 2-on-1 on the hill. This is going the way of Optic Texas. Hook going absolutely massive. Hook the nuke frying right there. Manages to get another kill, and just like that with 20 seconds left, you can already see the arrows rotating. Number 3 and number 2 on the rotation. Perfect hardpoint from Optic Texas. Hook one more time at the back. Celium does get the kill, but that's alright. We're going to leave that with them. Now let's see the difference here at Optic Texas setup compared to FaZe's here on this P3 hardpoint. So we have a Ghosty here sitting in maps. Oh no, a BZ and Sim. Let's see if they do here. Okay, so just on a side note here, let's see how BZ and Simp take this gunfight, because this is a lot harder of a gunfight. But if there's any duo in the game that I trust, I probably trust this one here. Let's see what they can do. Simp goes towards the left, goes through there. He makes Ghosty, well, Ghosty made him weak actually. Yeah, so it looks like they're not really breaking that one. That's 3 down for Atlanta FaZe, and just like that, Hook with the 4th. A really good setup from Optic Texas, and this is what I mean now by applying pressure on a team when you're in a setup. We saw a very similar case in P3 last rotation where FaZe were in the driving seat. They had hold of rotations, but let's see how Optic Texas do things differently here. So you can see Celium's in open, and number 6, which is a BZ, he's in close, just like that. They're in a 4v2, and now Shotzi's just playing his life here. And this is slightly different to what Slasher was doing. When Slasher was in this corner, you saw he challenged, well in this case it's number 8 Celium, but you saw he challenged the player, I believe it was Hook, who was open, and then he got taken out by Dashi. But let's see how Shotzi plays it slightly differently. And this is the thing with roles and the guns you're using. It's just going to allow you to set up a lot differently. If Shotzi had an assault rifle here, the high chances he's probably going to be on the P1 heady, watching the cross towards number 8. But because he's got the Vaznev in hand, so he's just allowed to prone. He's kind of watching that closed angle. He manages to take out Simp. And this is what I just really like about Shotzi, is his finesse is just the best in the league by far. You can see here, number 6. I just want to highlight number 6 on the minimap. Like, I can literally see number 6's confusion just from his arrow. Like, looking here, so you can see after Shotzi gets Simp here, look at number 6's arrow. 6 is like, he's just confused. He's like, where's this guy gone, man? He probably can't even be bothered with this guy. He's like, this guy, man. Look, he's literally, I can see his arrow. Look at him. He's like, yeah, I can't be asked to chase Shotzi. And he goes for the new hill. And it just caused so much disruption in the setup here. And then once again, number 4 going absolutely huge in maps. Hook, he gets 1, he gets 2. Celium comes up, he almost gets a 3. But Shotzi's once again set up in the middle of the map. He's just being a real thorn in the paint of FaZe's side right now. And you can see Ghosty with the hill, just like that. So now again, Shotzi, what he's doing, this is perfect from him. Absolutely perfect play from Shotzi. Let's show you one more time what he does. So as he goes through, you can see he's kind of sitting in top art right now. And as FaZe are going through, he's just causing a distraction. So he's not allowing FaZe to push together. And this is what I mean. Like, these are the kind of things you don't see on the minimap. Because how are you going to track how long Shotzi's distracting for is literally impossible. Because it doesn't count as hill time. It's not a kill if he's not doing anything. But he's just being so distracting. And that's so important. Dashi's on the hill, he's soaking up the time, and just like that you can see number 7 and number 6, they're both distracted now by Shotzi. And ideally in this situation, with only 11 seconds left to the win, you want these players running at the hill if you're FaZe. If you're a FaZe fan, you want them running at the hill. But they can't because Shotzi's set up top. And look what happens. As he gets one shot, I mean, I know if I'm challenging that, I'm probably dead there because of how quick the time to kill is. But this guy just gets out with his life. And once again, he's not worried about that. But what that does is automatically, like, again, this is so important. I don't even think in the game you'd notice this. But if you actually look at this one more time, just rewinding it about 10 seconds, they're probably going to go through the left here and take the guy off the hill. But they literally get distracted because of Shotzi, and they end up going into maps. I don't even think that was their plan. And with 10 seconds left, it's basically impossible. Again, these two, they just love maps, don't they? These two, they just love breaking it from maps. But Simp goes through, and BZ can't get through. He gets killed by Hook there. Great play from Hook. And just like that, FaZe goes through the left. Number 5, he gets taken out, and I mean, to put them into the 100-point club. That's some impressive stuff from Optic Texas. You see the boys getting hyped. Just like that, they do get the win. I thought that was just really impressive gameplay. I was doing that live, so it's slightly harder to kind of like, there was a bit more stuttery, a bit more kind of problem in the comms. Hope you guys did enjoy the video anyways. Let me know down in the comments how you would want to see it differently for the next one, and I'll make sure to get that done for you. We are growing rapidly, guys, so thank you guys for all your support. We just hit over 2K subscribers. I can't believe it. We literally hit a K like 2 weeks ago, and now we're on 2K, so thank you everyone. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.